So welcome along, guys. We've got Dangerous Dave to help us start with this fabulous little tutorial. A little bit of clean water just on Dangerous Dave to start off with. Now about half full of the bristle, not completely soaked. And we're just going to drape that across the right hand side of the cup and down on the surface below, which is going to be a nice cloth. Cad Orange, whisper that just effortlessly draped across the cup and a little bit on the cloth below, the surface. Rose Opera, again dragged across in the same direction and approached in the same way. So just allowing that to bleed into the previous colour. Little royal blue now, and again we're doing the same, just drape that across. Look at those beautiful colours just blending together effortlessly, simply to start to build up the mood of the painting. A little bit of royal blue just inside the teacup, a little shadow. And Mini Dave, where have you been, Mini Dave? You've been drinking tea and planting pansies, I know you. But he's going to put a little bit of water where the soil is within the cup. A little bit of Indian red there. Dropped into position, allowed to bleed out and find its own settling point. And then we're just picking out the front line of the soil against the edge of the cup. A little bit of neutral tint, again dropped on. It's all about that bleeding. It's all about Mini Dave as well, but it's all about that bleeding. Royal blue. I'm just going to place this in a little nod to the willow patterns on porcelain of years ago. We're just dropping that on, so we're placing the colour down and leaving gaps as well. So it's an indistinct pattern. I think if you worked for the porcelain factory, you wouldn't have been getting a bonus this week because they couldn't tell it was a grand imperial leader walking over a bridge near a blossomed avenue. No, it doesn't look like that, does it? Ultramarine Blue. Put this fairly central of the cup, dropping it into the colour that's already there. Building up the strength of the colour, and a little bit of shadow just on the handle there. To build up the shape, giving it some 3D-ness. And the base of the cup as well. We'll put water where the leaves are going to go. Starting with Sap Green, and Dangerous Dave has returned from his light meal and a glass of wine. I'm just using the actual shape of Dangerous Dave. Perfect shape for splaying out leaves on the side, and Perylene green again just dropped into the colour, allowed to bleed. We'll just keep an eye on where they go to. but a nice effect of light and dark within the leaves. Royal blue, dropped on, circular, leaving the centre untouched. Quite important. So we don't need water there in the first place, otherwise that'll just bleed over. So leaving that dry and allowing that to work its magic. Purple, Mini Dave, yeah, Mini Dave, one of the fabulous loose gang brushes. There will be a movie made about them one day. The Loose Gang Paint Flowers, that's what it's going to be called. And they're going to play their own selves, they're not having bit part actors, but they're great brushes for this style of works. Quite often you can be using kit that you love, but sometimes it just doesn't do what you want it to do. So a lot of people work with these now. If you're want to get loose, worth considering. Neutral tint, we're just running this around the centre. Again, letting that bleed out. The fluidity of the paint is very important. If it's dry, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere, not even fast. It's going nowhere ever. Just thickening up a few areas of the pansies just by dropping a bit of paint in. A little bit of Sap Green now with Perylene mixed, and we're going to get a few stems on. So remember, obviously they're growing from the soil, and we need to meet up with the flowers just generally. So if you love the loose gang, guys, there's a little link above on the right hand side there. Just click on that, click on the words, and it'll take you across to my little shop, and we can sort you out with a few over there. Meanwhile, Miss Rigger is doing her thing. Simply applying it to the flowers, allowing those just to float down. And a few little suggestions of leaves on the stems. A little bit of water around the leaves now with Miss Rigger. She's like that, gives them a drink. But this extends the flowers where they are, lets them roll a bit further, and consequently a little bit softer as well. A little bit of neutral tint, a little bit of Vendian red just underneath there, just picking out a little bit of the soil, but don't stay too long. Otherwise you end up getting detail in there. We're just going scooting around a leaf there. So that's dry, we're just painting around that just to give a suggestion of that leaf overhanging the front of the cup. Ultramarine blue. Chopping around the edge of the leaf, and that is enough. That is that fabulous stuff called negative painting. There's enough there just to pick out the leaf. Mini Dave's back in town, neutral tint, royal blue. I'm just get a little shadow onto the cup. Now we don't put it right at the edge. We move it in a little bit and then we follow the curvature of the cup coming down. Just on the one side, just on the darker side. That just picks that out nicely. A little bit of shadow underneath. Just dragged across, following those initial lines we put down. They're there to give us guidance. And we're pulling the shadows. The higher up they are, the straighter they are, and the further down they are, the more of a nice little subtle shadow on the surface. A little line suggesting lines there just for the cloth. Let's get the centres of those pansies on with lemon yellow and misrigger. What a combination! What a combination! So just dob that in, and then we'll dob a little bit of cad orange as well. Just dropped in, all it is a little dot. Because it's wet, it's going to float and find its own way. Mini Dave making a nice little appearance now. Bit of water, what are you doing there, Mini Dave? I'm going to soften the edge of some of these flowers, Andrew. Well, I'll leave it with you. I'm going to the pub. Meet you down there. So if you've enjoyed this style of painting, guys, that's fabulous. You're the same as me, and if you pop over to loosewatercolours.com, there's a little link at the end in the description below and the end bar. Click on that and that can take you over, and you can come and join us and enjoy painting loose all the time. So to join me at loosewatercolours.com, just click on the memberships in the top right, and if you please subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be fantastic. Thank you.